Have you ever helped someone and they never said thank you? Have you ever given everything to people and they asked for more? Have you ever been so kind, so generous, so good that people started using you? There's a painful truth that kind people learn too late. Being good doesn't always protect you. Sometimes it destroys you. You say yes when you want to say no. You help when you're exhausted. You give until there's nothing left. And people, they don't respect your kindness. They exploit it. And the worst part, when you finally say no, when you finally set boundaries, they call you selfish, cold, mean. But what if I told you that being kind without being strategic is the most dangerous trap you can fall into? Today, I want to tell you a story about a woman who was too kind. A woman who gave everything until she had nothing left, and how she learned the shocking truth about goodness. If you've ever felt used, drained, or taken for granted, this story is for you. Once upon a time in a quiet village, there lived a woman named Clara. Clara was the kindest woman in the village. She had a warm smile, a helping hand, and a heart that never said no. If someone needed help, Clara was there. If someone needed a meal, Clara cooked it. If someone needed comfort, Clara spent hours listening. Everyone loved Clara, or so she thought. Clara is such a good soul, they would say, always ready to help, always so generous. Clara felt proud. She believed her kindness made her valuable. She believed her goodness kept her safe. But deep inside something felt wrong. She felt tired, drained, empty. Every night she would collapse into bed exhausted, wondering, why do I feel so hollow? One morning, Clara's neighbor, Mrs. Green, knocked on her door. Clara, my garden is overrun. Can you help me pull the weeds today? Clara had planned to rest. Her hands were sore from sewing for 3 other families that week. But she looked at Mrs. Green's pleading face, and she couldn't say no. She spent the entire day in Mrs. Green's garden under the burning sun, her back aching, her body screaming for rest. When she finished, Mrs. Green said, "It looks acceptable. You can come back tomorrow to plant the new seedlings." No thank you, no offer to help Clara in return. Just another request. That night, Clara lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Her body ached, but her heart ached more. Why don't they appreciate what I do? She whispered. Why do they keep asking for more? Days later, Clara's friend Sarah asked to borrow her best dress. Just for the festival, Sarah said. I'll take good care of it. I promise. Clara had lent her things before, a necklace, a scarf, a book, and they were always returned late or slightly damaged. But Clara handed her the dress. Weeks passed after the festival. Sarah didn't return the dress. When Clara finally asked, Sarah, about my dress, Sarah's face changed. Oh, that old thing. I thought you'd forgotten. Honestly, I think it suits me better anyway. Clara felt a knife twist in her chest. She gave and gave and gave, and now she was the petty one for asking. One evening, the village held a meeting about sewing new banners for the spring fair. When they discussed who would do the intricate embroidery, everyone turned to Clara. Clara will do it, someone said. Her hands are the steadiest, and she never minds. Everyone nodded. The decision was made. Clara would sew all 10 banners alone. No one asked her. They just expected it. Clara sat there silent, her heart heavy. She realized something painful. Her kindness had become her prison. People didn't respect her. They used her. That night, an old weaver woman passed through the village. She saw Clara sitting alone by the river, looking broken. The weaver sat beside her and said, "You look like a woman who pours from an empty cup." Clara looked up, surprised. "How did you know?" The weaver smiled sadly. "Because I see it in your eyes. You think being good means saying yes to everyone, but tell me, how do you feel? Exhausted? Empty? Used?" The weaver nodded. "That's because you've been giving without wisdom. Kindness without strategy is not kindness. It's self-destruction." Clara frowned. "But isn't helping people the right thing to do?" "Yes," said the weaver. "But not all people deserve your help. Not all requests deserve your yes. When you help everyone, your help becomes commonplace. When you're always available, people stop valuing your time. When you never say no, people stop respecting your yes." Clara felt something crack open inside her. "So, what should I do?" The weaver looked her in the eyes. "Be kind, but be strategic. Help, but choose who. Give, but protect yourself. Your goodness is a gift. Don't waste it on people who don't appreciate it." The next morning, Mrs. Green knocked on Clara's door again. Clara, ready to plant those seedlings. Clara took a deep breath. For the first time in her life, she said, "No." Mrs. Green blinked, shocked. "What? But you always help." "I'm tired," Clara replied calmly. "My body needs rest. You'll have to manage, or ask someone else." Mrs. Green's face turned red. "After all I've done for you," she sputtered. Clara stood firm. "You've done nothing for me. I've weeded your garden, mended your clothes, and minded your children. You have never once helped me or said thank you. You only asked for more." Clara closed the door gently. Her hands were shaking, but for the first time, she felt free. Days later, Sarah asked to borrow a silver hairpin. Clara looked at her calmly. "No." Sarah's eyes widened. "What? Come on, Clara. We're friends." "You still have my dress," Clara said. "You've borrowed from me many times and never treated my things with care. I won't lend to you again." Sarah's face twisted with annoyance. "You've changed, Clara. You're not the kind person you used to be." Clara smiled slightly. "You're right. I've changed. I'm no longer kind to people who don't respect my kindness." And Clara, she felt lighter than she had in years. At the next village meeting, Clara stood up. "I've helped this village for years," she said, her voice steady. "I've sewn, cooked, and cared without asking for anything in return. But from now on, things will change." The villagers stared, shocked. "I will help, but not alone. I will give my time, but it must be respected. I will be kind, but only to those who value kindness." Some villagers looked ashamed. Others looked angry. But Clara didn't care anymore. She had learned the truth. Being good doesn't mean being weak. It means being wise. Weeks passed. something strange happened. The people who used to take Clara for granted started treating her differently. Mrs. Green nodded respectfully when she saw her. Sarah greeted her politely from a distance. And the villagers, they still asked for help, but now they offered something in return. Goods, labor, genuine gratitude. One day, a young woman named Alina approached Clara. Clara, I heard you're a wonderful seamstress. I need to learn how to mend my brother's coat. But I can pay you with fresh bread from our oven, and I'll help you with your chores in return. Clara looked at Elena and saw something rare. Respect. All right, Clara said with a smile. Let's work together. And for the first time in years, Clara felt like her kindness was valued. Months later, the old weaver woman returned. She found Clara by the river, but this time, Clara looked different, stronger, peaceful. You've changed, said the weaver with a knowing smile. Clara nodded. I have. I used to think being good meant giving everything to everyone. But now I know real goodness is strategic. It's about helping the right people at the right time in the right way. The weaver smiled. And how do you feel now? Clara looked at the sky. I feel free. I'm still kind, but I'm no longer a victim of my own kindness. If you're listening to this today, and you've been the person who always says yes, the person who always helps, the person who always gives, hear this. Your kindness is not a weakness, but kindness without boundaries will destroy you. Being good doesn't mean being available to everyone. It doesn't mean saying yes when your heart screams no. It doesn't mean sacrificing yourself for people who don't value you. Real kindness is strategic. It protects your energy. It chooses wisely. It gives to those who appreciate, not to those who exploit. Don't feel guilty for saying no. Don't apologize for setting boundaries. Don't let people make you feel selfish for protecting your peace. One person who respects your kindness is worth more than 100 who take advantage of it. If this story touched your heart, if you needed to hear this today, remember, you are not selfish for protecting yourself. You are wise. God bless you. And remember, being kind is beautiful, but being strategically kind is powerful.